Most people don't stay in debt because they're irresponsible. They stay in debt because they're doing exactly what they were taught to do. And by the time they realize that the system doesn't work, they're 10, 15, 20 years into it with nothing to show for it. I know because I was there, $180,000 in debt, doing all the right things. So in this video, I want to talk to you about why most people don't actually get out of debt even when they're genuinely trying. What's keeping them stuck? And what's different about people who actually do get free. My name is Stephanie. I paid off over $180,000 in debt, and now I'm building financial independence in real time. Let's get into it. The first reason most people stay in debt is because they've been told that's just how life works. You get a job, you get a car payment, you get married, you get a mortgage, you go to school, you get student loans. There is a payment for everything now. And society just says that's how adult life works. That's what responsible people do. They manage their debt. But there is a massive difference between managing debt and getting out of debt. And once you start seeing it as something to manage, you then stop treating it as something that needs to be eliminated. You make your minimum payments, you stay current, and you call it responsible. And then you do it again and again. And then 10 years go by and you're still in the same place. I did this for a long time. I had over $180,000 in debt, and a lot of it just felt normal. I wasn't buying luxury stuff. I bought a house that I really couldn't afford in 2006, not because I was being reckless, but because that's what you did, right? You figure it out, you manage it. And that is exactly how debt keeps people working for decades without ever getting free. The second reason is the one that I see all the time, and I fell for it too. When you're in debt, the instinct is, I just need to make more money. If I got a raise, then I'd be fine. If I could just hit six figures, I could handle this. More income, less debt. That's how it's supposed to work, right? But here's the problem. When income goes up, lifestyle goes up with it every single time. Bigger apartment, better car, nicer things, more subscriptions. You justify it. You're making more, so you can afford it now. And that raise just disappears as if it never existed. And the debt stays exactly where it was. I used to think if I could reach a certain income number, everything would be solved. But every time I moved up, I just moved the bar. The target kept shifting, and the debt didn't really go anywhere. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. And that amount is where debt payoff lives. And most people don't ever get to this point, no matter how much they make. Hey, if you're finding this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow and helps me keep making content like this. Okay, let's keep going. And this last one gets people the most. When I finally sat down and looked at all my debt, all of it, I found out I had 13 different student loans. 13. And one of them was for 50 bucks. I was paying $1.17 a month on a $50 loan. And I was paying the minimum payment of $1.17 on a $50 loan. I just hadn't sat down and looked at it close enough. So I ended up getting pissed. But when I say I got pissed, that's usually when I actually change something. I'm not one of those people who just calmly comes up with a peaceful epiphany where everything clicks. I need to get mad enough for me to actually do something about it. But here's where it stops most people before they get there. They start, they're motivated, they throw extra money at the debt, and it feels like the number barely moves. The mountain just looks too big. So they think the plan isn't working and they stop. But debt payoff is slow at first, and then it's not. That's just how it works. The progress compounds the longer you stay consistent. What feels like a mountain slowly starts looking like a hill. And then one day, you just step right over it. It's kind of like when you first start working out. You don't see any progress in the beginning, but consistency over time, you start to see muscles develop. You get more defined. You have to stay through the part that looks like nothing is happening, because that's exactly where everything is happening. So what actually works? It's simpler than most people want to hear, but simple is what works. First, stop treating debt as normal. Give it a deadline. Look at every individual loan you have, not just the big scary total. Some of them are smaller than you think, and small wins keeps you moving. Second, stop waiting for more income. Work with what you have right now. Where does your money go after your bills are paid? That gap is your debt payoff runway. Widen it before you ever think about earning more. Third, build a system, not a mood. Motivation runs out. You're fired up today, and 2 weeks later, you're tired, you're busy, and that extra payment just doesn't happen. So automate it. Set your extra payment to go out automatically. You don't decide what happens every month, it just goes. Freedom comes from structure, not restriction. The structure is pay yourself first, automate extra payments, and let the system do the work, even when you don't feel like it. If any of this resonated with you, you're probably just doing what everyone else is doing. And now you know why that doesn't work. If you found value in this, please consider subscribing, as it really does help the channel grow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.